Good afternoon, everybody. Book Bandit is back. Well, back again. It's only been 2 days. How did your July go for your FBA sales? Was it an average month? Was it like June? Did it grow a little bit? Did it go down a little bit? Did it grow a lot? Did it go down a lot? For me, it actually was pretty steady and went up a bit. And I think that was because of back to school coming right around the corner, which is now here in August. I saw an uptick in sales in the last few weeks. And if you look at my sales in May, when I did 246, which was because I sent in that big load of CDs, so a lot of them were quick selling. So my sales numbers went up even though my ASP went down, my average sale price. And then in June, I did 194, 195, I think it was 195. So it went down because I sold out a lot of those quick selling CDs. But then in July, I did 248 sales in July, 248 over 31 days, which averages out to 8 sales a day, exactly, actually. So I averaged 8 sales a day, which was almost 2 more a day than I did in the previous month in June. So needless to say, I was really happy about July, even though I've been reading a fair amount of Facebook posts in various FBA book selling groups about July being slower, what's going on, when is it going to pick up? I'm sending in books, I have X amount in my inventory, why aren't I selling more, that sort of thing. And a lot of times it has to do with a couple of things, mostly it being the middle of summer and people just not buying as much stuff online, not spending as much time online. They're taking some vacations, spending more time outside because the weather's nice in general, traveling, so they're not necessarily sitting in front of the computer, or they're not going on to buy something on Amazon, even though they can buy it wherever they are, sitting on the beach, sitting up in the mountains, etc. But nonetheless, just, that's a logical conclusion. But, it might also have to do with individual circumstances, like not sending in enough inventory, not sending in the right books. I'm talking about books here, of course, but not sending in the right books, as in books that are going to sell. It depends. How long have you been in the business? That sort of thing. I mean, I saw a few people that have been in the business way longer than I have saying their sales were basically kind of staying steady, but nothing great. And a few even saying they were down a little bit. I have the answers for it exactly, or for people's specific individual circumstances, but I can just say that probably summer and probably the inventory you're sending in, how much are you sending in? Because in July, I had 248 sales, but I sent in 382 items. So mostly books, largely books with some CDs and a few VHS tapes. So 248 sales, 382 items sent in July, even though there was a 10-day span in the month of July when I didn't send in any inventory. I think it was from the 20th to the 30th. For whatever reason, I think it was because I didn't get enough inventory, even though I probably should have sent it in. But nonetheless, I didn't send in very much inventory in those 10 days, or any inventory in those 10 days. But the beginning of the month, I sent in a good amount. And then the last couple of days, I also sent in a good amount of inventory. So almost 400, which I was surprised. I didn't realize I had sent in that much. But I know for me, it's a lot easier to send in the smaller shipments, under 50, and not just to get it to go to one warehouse in state, but also to make the shipping process quicker. So I only have 2.5 sheets that I have to look on to find the stickers, and I just put them into one box, usually one box, unless it's a bunch of CDs. I have to split it up, but usually just one box if it's mostly books, and I can go through the shipment a lot quicker and just get those out. And then as I get new inventory, list them right away, ship them right away. That's my motto now, guys, in general, and especially now that back to school is upon us, is as soon as I get the inventory, I list it that same night, same day, try to get it out. If not that same day, definitely by the next day, unless of course it's a weekend, if it's a Sunday, whatever. If you're out on a Saturday, then you probably can't get it out till Monday. But nonetheless, if it's during the week, UPS is open, so I try to get the stuff out fast. Yesterday, I sent in 16 items that I sourced on the same day. So went in the morning, sourced them, listed them that afternoon, early afternoon, and then dropped them off later in that day before they closed around 5 o'clock, and was able to get those out, and they were checked in today. So they're live on the site. Granted, I was able to send them in the same state and pretty close by. Regardless, the point is, even if you have to send them across the country, you want to, and even more to the point, you want to send those out as fast as possible because now's the time. We're right in the beginning of the back to school book selling madness. It's the very beginning here, and you want to send your items in, your books in especially, so you can take advantage of it, because it lasts about a month or so, and then it peters out in about mid-September. Take advantage of it. I want to try to duplicate my inventory numbers going into August in terms of what I'm sending in, my shipment numbers. Send in 382, so I'm going to try to hit close to 400 again, just basically do as much as I can. So that was almost 100 a week averaged out, which is great for me. But nonetheless, that's important. Going back to the point of why people's sales were done in July. Possibly they weren't sending in as much because they're maybe relaxing more during the summer. I don't know, but that could be a reason as well. Because for me, it was good. Books did really well. I also sold over 30 CDs in July, and I sold probably around 10 or so VHS tapes. Diversification helps a lot. That's an additional 30 plus sales. I would have 218 or 215 sales if I didn't have those CDs, and if I didn't have the VHSs, I'd have closer to 200 sales of just books. So it's good to diversify, but that's another conversation. So 248 sales, 8 sales a day. My ASP was $12.69, so a little bit low, but that has to do with me sending in quicker selling, lower profit items, like fiction and certain nonfiction books that I don't mind sending in because I'll make $2 to $4 off of them, but they usually sell within a few days or a few weeks of hitting the warehouse. And I price them to sell fast. So that's what brings down my ASP. Doesn't mean that I am not looking for mid to long term or long tail nonfiction books that are selling for $20, $25 and up and way more. It's just that I'm looking in additional sections like fiction and learning more about what to pick out, what to scan, and then what to send in. And I'm finding a lot more of this quicker selling stuff. So I'm able to turn those really fast, turn that 50 cents, that dollar into $3 or $4 and keep moving. So turning over my inventory faster, and hopefully that'll help me when I call Amazon soon here to try to get my storage maximum increased from 10,000 to higher. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll call several times during this crazy time in August here to see if I can get that bumped up. Just sort of trying to build for the future if I ever get to that maximum level. Looking back at my sales in July of 2015, this last month, July of 2016, I did 200 more sales. In July of 2015, I did 48 sales. Last month, I did 248. What a difference a year makes in experience and getting more inventory in. So 200 more sales. Now, of course, I have a lot more inventory now than I did a year ago. Probably 1,500 more items or so than I did. More than double what I had last summer. So that makes a big difference, and knowing what to send in. What I've sent in the last year was much better than what I had sent in the first 10 months up to that first back to school. And in August of last year, I did 109. That was my max, and that to me was crazy good, which it was, and blew my mind. I had a couple of days where I had 10 sales in a day, but now I'm doing that on multiple days. In July, I had multiple 10 items day sales. Now that we are all into August, it's August 3rd. Here where I am, it's a little after 4 o'clock, so there's about a little less than 8 hours left in the day. But as of right now, a little more than 2.5 days into August, I've sold 29 items. So the first 2 days, I sold 23. So I almost had 12 sales a day each day averaged out. Today, I've already sold 6. So I'll probably get close to 10, if not more, if things continue the way they're going. Guys, this is sort of the tip of the iceberg here as we're going into August. Last year, I saw a flip switch on about August 10th, 12th, around there is when sales started to go up, and suddenly I was getting tons of sales notifications. So this is definitely building up. July was a great indicator of how August should be, and August now is a great indicator. The beginning of August is a great indicator of how the rest of August will be. The middle of August, basically through the end of August and even into September, I had great sales into about 10, 12, maybe 15 days into September, and then it just kind of dropped off significantly because everyone was back to school. Because people go back to school at different times. Some people go earlier in August, late August, early to mid-September. So people are still buying books into September. Just depends on where you are, what school, that sort of thing, what system you're on. And the other thing is some people buy books before they go back. Some people buy them a day or two before their class starts. You have the procrastinators, but then you also have the people that want to buy ahead of time. So all of that combined means there's just a lot of school-related books being bought. Are other books being bought? yes and no. I mean, definitely you're going to sell some other books that are not being used in the class, but it's definitely be more about school-related books. It doesn't have to be a textbook per se, the hardcover textbook. It can be a softcover textbook or a softcover school book that has a different edition, but it can also be novels, other nonfiction titles, many, many different types of nonfiction titles. There's so many classes, thousands and thousands of classes being offered all across the country and in all 50 states. So my ASP is almost $2 more in August than it was in July, which says to me that I'm selling a lot more high-priced school-related books. So that's great. A lot of my higher-priced books are going to be selling in August, which is awesome. I predict, I don't know if I'm going to be right, that I'll more than double my July sales. I should. Based upon what I did last July, 48, and then doing 109 in August, that's a good indicator that I'll at least double it. So if I at least get 500 sales, that means that my inventory level, which is right now, as of today, 2,875, would drop down to 2,375. However, of course, I'll be sending in new items. So if I send in another 400, then that'll still keep it up to in about 2,700 range. Of course, if I sell way more than 500 in August or less, then I might have less in inventory. But let's say I have 2,700, which is a couple hundred less than I have right now. That's still a good amount, and it's still good to head into, just talking about August now. In September, I'll sell some more as well. But that's great, to head into the holidays, because you're still going to sell a lot of stuff in the holidays. And build up for January, which is the next back to school. Definitely August is the biggest back to school month. August, September, those about 4 weeks or so are the biggest of the whole year. January is big as well, but August is bigger because it's the start of the new year, the very beginning of the semester. There's also a bump in, I believe, April for back to school, for schools that are on the quarter system. Definitely August into September and January are the two biggest ones, and the one in January goes into February as well. Books sell all year. Those are just the two huge ones, huge times of the year, and here we are. I just sent in that shipment yesterday of 16 items. Now I have nothing left to send in. I'm sort of chomping at the bit here. I want to go out and source, but can't always source every day. So today being Wednesday, I'll be able to source Friday and Saturday. I'm going to try to get as much as I can on those 2 days to send in some more stuff, because in the next week or so, it's probably going to go crazy, and we'll be sitting here watching the sales roll in, which is awesome. You want to keep on feeding the Amazon machine and try to get your inventory numbers up to sell more, so that you buy something in early August, you sell it in mid to late August, September. Just try to keep it moving. So yeah, also, try to get your storage limit up if you haven't already tried that. If you're at 5,000, you want to get it up more, get it up higher because you're trying to grow the business, then definitely call when the big sales come in for August, probably into August here, mid-August or so. Definitely give them a call. If they don't initially offer it to you or say that they'll give you the bump, then give them another call in a week or so and see if you can get it. It's not a guarantee, but it's a good time to call. So hopefully your August is starting off well and your July was good. And as always, remember, keep booking.